All right, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Ethan Suplee. Hello. Yeah, for real. Actually, are there like effects people in the house or people working on the film? Yeah, all right, cool. Awesome work. Yeah, no, I saw some very specific applause during the effects credits, so those and stuff. Yeah. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, I know this is a really basic question to start off with, but not a ton of interviews yet about the movie, so I just want to hear about how you got connected to it, how the script found you, and why you were drawn to it.
The director sent me a script many years ago that was another horror movie that I liked a lot, and that never happened. And then he directed another movie called Blood for Rust. Sorry. Which I was in, and I really liked him a lot. And so when this came along, I was so excited to work with him again.
What do you value in a director? I kind of forget this about you sometimes. I was just like reviewing your resume, and I'm like, oh shit, he's working with like Scorsese, Aronofsky, Kevin Smith, like a very wide slate of what I would call like auteurs almost. Like what do you look for when you're working with someone on a movie?
Somebody who can communicate their vision in a way that I can understand it. That's kind of the most important thing for me. So somebody that isn't telling me something that I just can't get, which might be on me a lot of times. Rod is really, really good at empathizing his way into what he wants.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's obviously a backstory that's hinted at between Toby and Dolly, I guess, right? How much was that discussed on the set? Like, did Rod come in with the whole backstory plan, or is that something you and Max and Taylor came up with?
No, that came later, but it does, a lot of it harkens back to the first script that he ever sent me, which was a horror movie. So there are a lot of elements from that, I think, borrowed and moved into this story. And ultimately, this next round is much better than the first horror that we didn't make together. But I think it all happened after. Like that scene, that is Rod at the end as the cop, and that was shot much later after the movie. That was not a part of the movie at all. I don't think there was any real thought about a prequel, sequel type thing while we were making it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's funny because I had a screener that I watched before coming to tonight, and I actually didn't see the post-credit sequence when I watched it online. So obviously it's hinting at there's the history here, there's more to come. How much do you know, I guess, about what we saw at the very end?
I know everything, and I'm not going to tell you. But it is a proper prequel.
Amazing. That's awesome. That's great. You had mentioned empathizing your way into, a very obviously brutal movie, and I've seen your record saying like horror is not necessarily your preferred genre.
I hate horror.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of horror.
It's so funny because I was thinking, but I saw that quote and I'm like, he's done all these horror movies, and I'm like, well, you've done like horror adjacent things, and then like Tales from the Crypt when you were way young, but I'm like, no, I guess this is like one of the first very much a horror movie with a capital H, right?
So people have tried to wedge me in there with the butterfly effect. I didn't realize that was a horror movie while we were making it.
Yeah, I saw Butterfly. I went to Florida State for undergrad, and I remember at the student life building, which was like the student center, we always got like dance movies, and we went to see Butterfly Effect. I was surprised how violent that movie was.
But violent doesn't mean horror, right?
That's true, yeah.
And let's talk about this, right? Are vampires horror? Because I get scared in vampire movies, and I'm told like by horror people that I'm a wuss and that is not a horror movie. Doesn't there? And vampires capture everything. There's blood, there's gore, there's supernatural.
I think if I was to, I'm a little horror expert, I guess. But if I was going to ask like vampires horror, I feel like the more bestial, feral, parasitic vampires, the most Nosferatu, that to me feels like horror. But if it's like just sensuality, then maybe they're horror. I don't know, but do you guys think vampires are horror? Yeah.
See this thing right there. Yeah. They're decidedly split. Near Dark is one of the scariest movies I ever saw as a kid.
Which they never say vampire in that movie too, right? That's just interesting. I love Near Dark. So that's why we're seeing movies so freaky. Well, yeah, so obviously not being like a fan of horror, but obviously having some exposure to it. Does that present any challenges as an actor? Do you feel like you have to find your way into it when you're doing a horror movie?
I couldn't have had more fun playing this guy. The majority of the work I've done as an actor, I've played fairly lovable, other than American History X. Somewhat dim, lovable guys. And there's even an argument for the character in American History X that he probably was a lovable guy and just got mixed up with the wrong people. Like, I don't think any of that stuff of racism was innate to him. That's just the crowd he fell in with, his neighbors and the kids he associated with at school. So he's like a sweet moron too that just hangs with the bad crowd. Bad guy ultimately. But I didn't get to play a lot of bad guys, and I really like it. Yeah, it's so much fun. And the blood is fun. There's something really fun about I might even have a little bit of an OCD phobia about getting dirty, but when you have to like let your hair down, so to speak, and just accept that you are going to be covered in filth and grime, and they're going to be painting your teeth dirty, and you're going to have somebody making sure that it's deep under your fingernails. That is fun. You just kind of let go and go like, I'm going to be sticky all day today.
Was the beard real or the hair?
The beard was real. The hair is not.
Yeah.
I sadly can't even grow that.
Yeah, I relate. Yeah. When you brought up Seth American History X, and I've seen you say in the past, like that you had to find humanity in this guy who exhibits very monstrous behavior. But then you have another movie, God's Bullet, that I read you say about that guy. Like, no, that guy was playing like a full-on sociopath.
Yes.
Where is Toby? Right?
Toby's a bad dude.
Yes, I would say is he more on the full-on sociopath? Is there any kind of humanity?
No.
Yeah, that's
no humanity. He's a bad dude.
Yeah.
And I did try to at times like put myself into how, as Toby, how am I correct here? Like that game was very difficult because I do think he's just a sociopath and a sadist.
Yeah, obviously the thing abuse and everything. Like, yeah, I mean, I think most people have shades of good and bad in that, myself included, right? But yeah, then some people are just
yeah, there's a couple of bad apples, right?
Yeah.
Toby's a bad apple.
Do you think you'll do more horror now that you've got, or at least play more like kind of unequivocally horrible people? Now that you kind of tasted it.
Well, I can't wait to play Toby again. Playing him was
You are okay. That's not hard. Yeah, I don't want to know, guys. Like, don't spoil it, but how? I guess, and then this movie is just coming out. How far into that process are y'all just talking about it, like for the sequel? I mean, like how?
I mean, it's pretty fleshed out.
Cool.
But I think we're trying to get through this week before.
Yeah. What's today's date? March 3rd.
Yep.
March 3rd. Yeah. Are you doing any more like any fun dinner streams or anything like that? Or?
I'm doing IFC Thursday and Alamo Draft House Friday.
Oh, nice. The Brooklyn one? Is there more than one
I
here?
hope not. Sorry.
Yeah.
Playing their hatred for him, like that was a big draw. And I almost got into a fight with people in the audience because I was like, you're not allowed to say that about him. We're here doing a scene and you're screaming obscenities at this sweetheart. And the producers had to tell me like I'm right and they can hear me cursing back. But he was such a gentle guy that it was very it was very jarring to watch him put on that act and enjoy people hating him. And I don't know what Maxine, if they are a good guy or a bad guy in the world of wrestling, but Max is one of the sweetest, gentlest people I've ever met also. And I thought the character they created with all the weird fucking twitching and the finger stuff was so incredible and inspired. So they're like a real artist, and like somewhere deep inside where I have not seen them wrestle, I'm rooting for them to be like the hero, but I suspect they're a villain.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I really enjoyed working with Max a lot.
There's the part where I think it's just when they're going toward the table and they do this gleeful little thing with their hands, and that to me, I'm like, okay, I thought about this.
Yeah.